I spent 100 days in Skyrim, but this wasn't your typical Skyrim experience. We're playing Skyrim, but with over 3,500 mods. We're using a mod pack called Lorerim, which basically totally overhauls the game. Its main overhaul, however, is something called Requiem, which is a huge mod that overhauls how you actually have to play the game. Difficulty is turned up to the max with this Requiem overhaul. We have new combat mechanics, such as new animations. We have the added ability to dodge incoming attacks. And then of course you can't forget about the upgraded graphics, which truly makes this feel like a game that was made this year. I'll leave the mod pack info down below if you want to check it out for yourself. But for now, let's get started. This title screen marked the beginning of our epic journey and the beginning of day one. So we had to pick the perfect character. And if I'm going to be looking at somebody for 100 days, I'm going to be looking at a girl, all right? So we went ahead and chose the Dunmer, which we'll get into the reason a little bit later. And then Lorerim has a bunch of different presets, so we're going to go with one of these if we can find the right one. So we created our lovely character, and now it was time for the name. And I think we're going to name her Mayuko. Definitely not after my ex-girlfriend. Now we just had to wait patiently for the MCMs to configure, and I'm actually liking this hairstyle. Damn. It's nice. And then of course we need to change some settings to get the optimal experience. So we need to modify the look sensitivity a bit. So we change our dodge key to the spacebar, made sure our target lock was set to the right key, and then made sure we changed the right default controls. There we go. And then we had to pick where we started off. So I think I'm going to start over in the Sleeping Giant in Riverwood. Otherwise I'm going to get my booty cheeks handed to me early on. So we came to in the inn. Now it's time to choose our starting gear. So we're going to get the Iron Katana at first, just so we can deal with some undead if we need to. And then we'll get the Iron Sword as well. And since I plan to play as a magic type character or kind of like a spell blade, we're going to go for the Novice Hood. And then we're going to use some evasion type clothing. So we'll go for the leather cuirass. We'll get those. We'll get the leather boots, the leather bracers. Then it looks like the Amulet of Julianos gives a magica increase of 10. Go ahead and take that too. And I guess we'll use our last coin on this potion. There we go. And now we're good to go. We need to get some clothes on first. So we are all suited up and booted up. But we have one more important step to do. So we need to open up this IED menu. We need to change the curvature of this back left sword. I can't play like that. So let's get that tilt going. Hey, there we go. It's perfect. Now we're looking like a true adventurer. I like that. All right, so this is where everything gets intense. I'm not really attuned to Requiem style gameplay for Skyrim, so that's going to be an adventure all in itself. I'm probably going to die 1,000 plus times guaranteed, but that's all part of the journey. Before we start off, there's one more thing I need to do. We need to give ourselves these perk points now. So of course we're going to go with destruction. So let's go ahead and get that novice destruction perk, and then I'm going to go with absorb health so I can get some healing in, and then I'll go with the flames. Yeah, we're probably going to do fire and then that absorbing technique for the most part. We have 2 more perk points, so let's go ahead and put that into one-handed for this one, get that weapon mastery up, and then we'll go ahead and use that evasion as well. So we'll put perk point in there because we're trying to get this dodge, which will allow us to use the TK dodge mod installed in this list. That's what makes Requiem unique, especially this mod list Lorerim, because some of the skills or mods in this mod pack are skill capped. So you need a certain perk point and a certain skill tree in order to use some of the skills. Now I plan on getting a quick follower, so I need to find Feindal or Sven, which I probably should have talked to Sven in the inn. Let's go back there real quick, which Sven wasn't in the inn. But we have Delphiner. Damn, girl. Feindal is elusive as ever. Where is he at, man? Oh, there he is. I see him with his bow. Feindal, you looking buff today. So we're gonna go ahead and lie for Feindal so we can get him on our squad. I need sort of a punching bag, especially for this mod list. So we took the letter over to Camilla, and now Camilla wants nothing to do with Sven. Perfect. So we went back to Feindal to recruit him to be our punching bag. Perfect. And before we move on any further, we need to learn these 2 spells. So we'll go ahead and study this absorb health for 1 hour. Damn, and now I'm hungry. Okay. Lorerim has survival mode, and I don't think we have any food. Oh yeah, we don't. Damn. We're going to have to change that. And we also forgot to use the birth sign. So let's go ahead and choose our birth sign as well. We're going to go ahead and do the mage and then apprentice, because with the apprentice, your magicka has faster regeneration. So you get an increase of 100 magicka, and then your magicka regenerates 200% faster. The only caveat is you get 25% more damage from magic attacks. It's a fair trade-off in my opinion though. So we're going to take Feindal over to Embershard Mine, just the entrance. See if we can take out these bandits, take their clothes, and then sell those clothes. so we can buy food. Let's see how this first encounter works. We have wolves to fend off first. Fandel, where you at? I need your arrows. Okay, there we go. Let's suck this wolf up. If I can get it right. There we go, there we go, there we go. Go, go, go. Suck him up. There we go. One wolf dead. Where's the other one? Oh, he's right there. Fandel, get him. We're sucking him up too. He did. Oh, he hit me. Ah, nice. See, Fandel's coming in handy already. We're gonna go ahead and take these ingredients. And then we had one more wolf to fight. So we sucked him up just to get our health back. And then Fandel finished him off. We skinned this wolf as well. And now it was time for the bandit showdown. But with Fandel by my side, I had no worries. So we had a brute type of bandit, so I decided to suck him down from below. But the other bandit had arrows or a crossbow or something, so I had to play it safe and back away, one bandit at a time. But then we were attacked from the back with an imp. What the hell? It's okay though. As long as we played our distance right, we would be good. So we backed away and let the bandit waste his stamina. Oh, but he did cap us a little bit. One more hit like that, and yeah, the bandit got us. Luckily, we came to though, somehow in Whiterun, which I'm not complaining about. We needed to go here anyway. To be specific, we needed to go into Dragon's Reach. And in Dragon's Reach, we needed to pay our friend Farengar a little visit, specifically in his office. And once in the office, there was a special book called Absorb Knowledge. And what this does is read all books around the caster, which will come in handy for that experience. So we studied this book for the next 2 hours. Became fatigued, so now we need to sleep too. Damn. But now we had a handy little trick to boost our experience. So we started reading all books in the area. That was 4 books already. But nighttime was coming now, and we made $0. I was hoping Bellathor's was open so I could sell some of these wolf pelts, and thankfully it was. So we sold some of our wares in order to make a quick buck or two. And then we went over to the inn to see if we could cook up some grub, but we didn't have the proper ingredients. Damn. But that didn't stop us from stealing a cheese wedge or two. So at least we had a little something to tide us over. But we also needed to sleep, so we went to see what the prices were for the beds. Thankfully, it was just 100 gold. So we got a little shut-eye, and we were able to level up already. So we invested a little bit in evasion, in destruction of course, one-handed, and then we'll put a little bit into the block skill as well, since we'll be using the dual wield perk. Day 2 was a fresh new day, and it was time to do a little training. We needed gold and food, so we went back over to Riverwood for retribution. It was time to pay these bandits a little payback. But on the way, we found the guy that killed us last time. Perfect. We took his stuff to sell at a later date, and that man was stacked, literally. But there was still his friend over there with a bow, or so I thought. The bow and arrow guy was dead as well, so we took his stuff. And the gear this archer had some higher armor rating, so we stacked up. We also upgraded Faendal, so we upgraded him with some new armor, a battle axe, and a crossbow. Nothing was stopping us now, so we went back to the town of Riverwood, inside the Riverwood Trader, and then sold our leftover items. Not much gold, but it'll do for a night. So we rallied back over to Whiterun, and thought the best way to make some gold was to join the companions. So we watched these twos battle it out, and then went to see Kodlek himself. Vilkas definitely didn't like me, but Kodlek insisted that I show my might. So I followed Vilkas over to the courtyard, and Vilkas just had a chat with me instead. He gave me a sword to take up to the blacksmith, so we did as he asked. And then a blacksmith gave us a shield. So we brought that shield over to Aela. Then she introduced me to somebody named Fartkiss. It was a pleasure to meet him. This man showed us to our new bed, free of charge of course. And then I found out that my calves were somehow missing, but I guess that's the joy of modded Skyrim. So we were now officially part of the companions, and then we got our first job as well. So it was time to beat some sense into this sable hilt. So that's what we did. We sent fists flying and eventually beat this man into the ground. We also got another quest from Fartkiss to kill the leader of Redoran's retreat, but I don't think we are quite ready for that yet. So instead we took a carriage. The destination was Solitude. And besides the execution here, Solitude was quite a lovely place. We didn't have time to sightsee though. We were here for a specific reason, and that reason was inside the Blue Palace. We needed to absorb a few books, so we searched every nook and cranny in order to find books to absorb, and we were not disappointed. There were books everywhere. We read every book we could get our hands on, and then returned back to Jorrvaskr to get some sleep. We ended up leveling up, So we dispersed our perk points, and now we were lucky number 6. So we had a few perks to spend. So we opted for Apprentice Destruction, so we could get a few new spells. So we got the Leech Health, as well as the Firebolt. We upgraded our Weapon Mastery again, and then we even had enough points for the Dodge perk. Now that's what I'm talking about. And then we went ahead and got the Agile Spellcasting as well. We then spent our last perk point on Improved Blocking. There's no way we would lose now. So we hit that cheese eat, turned in our previous quest to Fart Kiss, and now it was time to see if we could slay some bandits. So we took to the plains of Whiterun, all the way over until we got over to Redoran's Retreat. Now it was time to see if our upgrades were worth it. So we went in charging with the Firebolt, took one bandit down quite easily, and now it was time for the other. We hacked and slashed him down, so it looks like our level ups were worth it. But there was one more guy left. Oh, and this guy had a bow. Damn. Faendal had a bow too though, so we decided to suck him up, and that leech health spell was actually quite dangerous. Thankfully Faendal finished him off, and we had plenty of loot to take now. I was thinking we could potentially take down Redoran's Retreat, so we finished looting up these guys, and that's when we heard a bear in the distance. It was time to really test out our might, so we went in, magic blazing, and we were able to take him out, thank goodness. So we looted our first bear kill. The moonlight was shining, and now it was time to enter. But first we needed to grab a bite to eat. So we entered Redoran's Retreat, and now it was game time. We had to take down a poor little dog first, and then I took this bandit from the back. Oh, but then he took me from the front. Damn, we definitely weren't ready for that. So since it was close to midnight, we decided to sleep. We needed some more experience, and there was one other place I knew of with plenty of books to read. The place we needed was no other than the Mages Guild. So we made our way through the front gate, gazed upon the deep magic energy, and then we made our way up to Barnes and Nobles. There were books galore here, so we sucked all of these books dry. Now with all these books sucked dry, it was time to get some sleep. We were able to level up twice now, so we chose the arm spellcasting and then boosted up our blood magic. We also had a destiny point to spend, so the first point increases our carry capacity, and then we chose the focus to give us some extra magic regeneration. Now we were really buffed up, so we decided to go back to Redoran's Retreat. Before though, we bought a backpack from the man Belethor himself, so we could carry some extra gear, and then we were off. We made it back inside the bandit hideout to dish out some justice. We burned the archer alive, looted his body, and then his 3 friends came to take us out. We got taken out too quick. Damn, we still were not ready. What the hell? Even despite our upgrades. Damn. Only 4 days had passed though. This was just the beginning. The next few days were a training arc of sorts. We needed to get a lot stronger, a lot quicker. So there was no better way to train our skill as well as our level by just rinsing and repeating. So we slayed bandits like nobody's business until there was no choice but for us to get good. Now our Hashira training arc took quite a few days, as you can see, but hopefully it was all worth it. We scraped every book, sliced and diced every mud crab, but eventually we reached level 20. We put most of our perk points into our magicka, so we're kind of like a glass cannon. So for now at least, we're relying heavily on magic. We did end up, however, upgrading our armor, got a few new spells, a shield, and a new follower called Ari. Not because we accidentally shot Faendal in the face with a fireball, of course. So now it was time for round 3 of Redoran's Retreat. There's no way we're losing this time. So we went inside once again, fireball in hand, taking out anybody we could. Our skills were definitely improving. We were lasting a lot longer, but the battle wasn't over yet. We launched another fireball, did some massive damage, and sliced him down as he took a health potion. One more fireball to go, took out one of them, and then sliced up the remaining foe. Our Hashira training arc was successful. That was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe now we just have that muscle memory. We accidentally found Meridia's beacon. God damn it. Before returning to the Companions Guild though, we took care of another quest from Fartkiss. This time we didn't even have to throw hands. He was intimidated already. So we returned over to Whiterun to turn in our quests. We had a few more quests from Fartkiss, so we had to venture out into the rift, but it was a little bit too dark. So we took a rest in Riften, and the next morning we saw our target. So we confronted our friend, and this time it was time to throw some hands. So we threw left fist, right fist, uppercut, until this little man conceded. Our next companion quest took us to the Four Shields Tavern, where we rested for the night. This next quest had us dealing with the Forsworn, which I wasn't entirely sure about yet. This would be a true test of our new skills. So we traveled the road until we got to location. Thankfully, it looked like it was just a small outpost with only a few forsworn, so it was time to engage. There were 2 archers and 2 brutes. This should be easy. So we sucked some health, sliced and diced, used our new dodge skills, and then took one down. These arrow guys were pretty ruthless though. We needed to get some cover. We needed this to be 1-on-1. So we tried our best to stay around the rocks to avoid enemy fire. We eventually took another one down, and then his friend as well. These forsworn were definitely tougher than these bandits. Now it was just the archers. So this time we hit him with a fireball and blew both of them up. We thankfully destroyed the whole encampment, and now I know the true value of training. It was time to now head back to Jorvaskr to turn in these quests. Fartkiss had yet even more quests now. What the hell? I'm just trying to turn into a werewolf, dog. So we again beat this poor elf down into submission to complete this quest. And then we had a quest to kill the leader for Broken Helm Hollow. Let's see how we do here. They were again bandits galore, but our fireball was pretty deadly. So we launched a few of those, but then got stuck with a spear. Damn, I guess this one's a little bit above our pay grade. But we came to once again and decided to go back for round 2. This time, we blew a few of them up again. Ari took down the mage, and now the spear guy tried to take us out again, but Ari shot him right in the forehead. I guess the second round was a charm, because the leader was now dead. It was time to make our way back over to Fartkiss to turn in our quests. We now went to complete yet another bandit quest from the companions. I guess they just don't believe in me yet. So we went inside Forger's retreat, slaying any bandit that we could. These bandits seemed to be a lot easier though, thankfully. And that was the end of that quest. So back to Jorvaskr we went in order to turn in our quests. And then it was time for a good night's rest. A new day came with new opportunities. So we went to go give the Jarl a visit and admire how Irilith is looking. Damn. Instead of the Jarl talking to me, he bashed me for coming up straight to his face and advised me to speak to Avenici instead. He had nothing on the quest I was actually looking for, so I had one more idea on how to initiate the main quest. So we had to go back to where it all started, back over to Helgen, which is where we saw our main man, Mr. Alderwiener. Now we could start the main quest. Damn, that dude looks tough. And on the way back to the Jarl, we saw Nazim, well, doing his thing. What the hell? This time we were promptly greeted by Irilith. They must have saw the dragon as well. So this time the Jarl was more than happy to speak to me. We exchanged some words. After speaking with the Jarl, our main man Farengar Secretfire had a quest for us. We had to fetch something called the Dragonstone, and this was our first big quest. So off we went. Traveled over to Riverwood, because we were going to take the back path up to Bleak Falls Barrow. And this finally gave us an opportunity to try out our silver weapon this time. So we made our way up through Riverwood, slaying wolves on the way, and then taking that back path up to the dungeon. To my disbelief, there was a troll. What the hell? So we had to unleash fireballs on this man's. Hey, get back, bro. Oh. Thankfully, we had enough magicka to burn this man alive. That was not a fun surprise, but we were well equipped. There were now a few bandits to take care of now, which were dispatched with some ease. 1/, 2/, and now we are on the final man. And with a few good parries, we were able to take him down as well. We could now see Bleak Falls Barrow, and it was time to get into the zone. We had to fight our way inside, but we were more than ready. That man's dead, but there were still more to go through. So we sucked up his friend. He's dead. But there was somebody shooting ice spikes and arrows. Damn. No worries though, because we got the skills to pay the bills. So we tried to take out the archers first. These guys were deadly. And then of course the mages as well. These guys were even more deadly than the archers, considering my apprentice stone. But now we were caught lacking. We needed to guzzle up a potion real fast, but it wasn't fast enough. Damn. I thought we were ready for this. We came back too though, in Jorvaskr. And on the way back to Bleak Falls Barrow, we had some time to think of our strategy. The only strategy I could think of though was just to go in guns blazing and try to stay at a distance. And luckily the bandits we killed already were already dead. This put us at an advantage. So we began unleashing fireballs, taking out one of these guys, while Ari was unleashing her arrows. I got sniped from a distance. This wasn't good. One more and I'd be dead again. So I began to suck this man's life until he was no more. The mage was back. So we took care of her bodyguard, and now it was time for the main man himself, which he was easily dealt with. Damn. It's always easier the second time around, right? It looked like all the bandits had been defeated, on the outside at least. Now it was time for the inside, where the Draugrs were. So inside we went, unleashing a fireball to spice things up, and then continuing to get our health back up before we finished the last guy off. Now this was just the warm-up. It was about to get much tougher from here on out. So we dealt with a few more bandits, and then a few more on top of that, until we finally made it into the puzzle room. So we hit it with the snake, fish, and engaged the lever. We dealt some skeever justice, and then had to deal with some spiders. Damn, I hate spiders. And these ones were particularly deadly. What the hell is that? It's a big one. But we were able to slice them down. Unfortunately though, those spiders were the least of our worries, because Mama Spider was just around the corner. So we sliced through the webs and engaged in some spider combat. We tried to stay a distance and dodge the venomous strikes, and we prevailed. This mama stood no chance. We rescued Arvel and then followed him a ways until some spiders sidetracked us. The spiders were dealt with, and we continued following Arvel. We couldn't let our man die. We suddenly got pushed back by the Draugr though. These guys were ruthless, and they ended up slamming an axe to our back. Damn. No worries though, because we went in for another round, this time relying on distance once again. So we shot a few fireballs, attempting to take the high ground to see if they could even hit us. And it seemed like it was working for a bit, but they almost had an Ari, so we went in to defend. We got slapped in the front of the face. Damn. We came to over at Jorvaskr, but it looks like we had a level up. So we went ahead and slept to get access. So we leveled up what we could. And then I think it was time to put in some perk points into restoration. So we chose our first starting spells, which were Sunbeam and Healing. And then we opted for the improved healing perk as well. Now we had to do a little studying in order to learn our new spells. Sunbeam was learned, and now it was time for healing. Now with these two new spells, there's no way we would die. At least I was hoping. So we went back over to Bleak Falls Barrow. This time we would be triumphant, fingers crossed. We had made it back to where we died last, and this time we had a strategy, which was the same strategy as last time. Go in guns blazing. So we took our new sun spell this time and burned our foe with the light of divinity, which seemed to work like a charm. We also had equipped our silver katana to do the most amount of damage. And after a lot of evading and a lot of sunbeam casting, we ended up being triumphant. The Draugr even immersively dispersed into ash piles after they were burned. Damn, now that's attention to detail. And as we walked further down the path, our friend Arvel didn't make it. Damn dog, my bad. But we went ahead and swiped that golden claw. There was a few more Draugr to deal with, but these guys were pretty lightweight. We eventually made our way into the inner sanctum, where we continued even deeper into the catacombs. We blew up a few more Draugr and then continued back on the path. We eventually progressed to the main door, and Ari wasn't in sight. I think the Draugr got her. Damn. But nonetheless, we had to push on. So we had to enter the code bear, bug, owl. And from there, the door unlocked. Now things were about to get real spicy. But first we had to find our way through these mini Draugrs. So one last battle ensued. Try my best not to die this far into the dungeon. So we played our spacing right, sliced a few down, and then played a bit defensively with some well-timed blocks. We were slicing and dicing, and these Draugr stood no chance. Damn. We successfully dispatched these Draugr. Damn. There was even more laying in wake. What the hell? There's a whole army. So again, we played the distance game. Eventually I kid you not, like 100 damn Draugr were defeated. But there was one man left, the boss. So we sipped on that Dragonborn sauce and prepared for the hardest battle, potentially, that we faced so far. Holy, what the? Yeah, we died. Wasn't expecting a dragon priest. How were we gonna defeat a dragon priest? I have no idea. He basically two-shotted me. It was time to enter another training arc. So we cleared out a few bandits at Valtheim Tower, defeated a Haygraven up in Winterhold, and then we went back to the companion to see if we could finally progress this storyline. The answer was yes. Skjor was finally looking for us. We were finally making some progress. So off to talk to Skjor we went. Skjor had a special mission for me, to retrieve a Wuthrad fragment. We were moving on up. But for this quest, Farkas had to join me. I wasn't complaining though. I could use another companion. So we went to go tell Farkas the good news. So we went over to Dustman's Cairn to start our quest. Hopefully no dragon priest would be popping up anytime soon. Now I had trouble finding the entrance to this place. There's some kind of mod that made this big old fortress, but eventually we did find it. There were a few minor skeletons holding down the fort, but me and Farkas took them down with ease. This next mission should be a piece of cake. Now this is actually really cool. I don't know what mod this is called, but this is adding a lot. What is that? Oh, an imp. So we had to take down the imp, but he was no pimp. Or at least he thought he wasn't a pimp. He somehow somehow killed us. What the hell? It was time for round 2. So back to Dustman's Cairn we went. This time Imp the Pimp was nowhere to be seen. He must have been scared. So we paid our respects and then entered Dustman's Cairn. We first had to dispatch a few Draugr, but with the help of Fartkiss, they were no issue. So we went deep enough until we found a mysterious room. And after hitting a trap lever, we were stuck behind bars. Damn. And then suddenly Fartkiss was surrounded by the enemy. That's when he brought out that dog within him. And he started hacking and slashing these guys up. Fartkiss was showing no mercy in that werewolf form. Damn. I actually felt bad for those guys. But Fartkiss ended up releasing me, and it was time to push forward. So we went deeper and deeper, taking down these Silverhand as they appeared, until we made it to the crypt. Here, the Draugr and Silverhand were going ham on each other, and it was time for me to third party. So a couple of fireballs, and most of them went down pretty quick. Now this place also had an army of Draugr that took a while to clear out. But thankfully that army of Draugr took out these Silverhands over here. So we copped the key from the chest. And this is where the annoyingly hard part starts. Damn. So we made our way through these narrow corridors into a nest of spiders. What the? Come on, man. Get him, Fartkiss. Thankfully, Fartkiss was tanking for me, and I was able to stay in the back shooting fireballs. But eventually we made it to the final room. I totally forgot this quest even had this room. And if you know what this room is all about, you know we're in for a storm. So we sipped on some of that Dragonborn sauce again, and then picked up the fragment of Ruthard, unleashing a storm of Draugr on us. So we went in cautiously, trying to keep our distance, relying on our firebolt. We slashed and we dashed, and we were doing good at first. They were only coming out a few at a time right now. Hopefully it would stay that way. Oh! But then the big man on campus came out with the Dragon Force shout. I had to hit it from the back real quick, but he hit it from the back harder. Damn. My game crashed after getting hit from the back with such velocity. So it's a good thing I had a preemptive save right here. So we grabbed that fragment once again and engaged in battle. We hit him from the back successfully this time. And Mr. Force Shoot Man was back at it again. Damn. We tried to escape back through the iron doors to create some more space. These guys were ruthless. And Fartkiss wasn't even helping us. Damn. We had to run for our life and regenerate our magic. These guys were trying to have a Diddy party on me. What the hell? But after a lengthy back and forth effort, all the Draugr were cleared. That took entirely too long. But we did end up getting this 100% stamina regeneration ring, which I guess makes it all worth it. So we exited through the open gravestone, unlocked the lever, and finally got a breath of that fresh air. Oh yeah. So we eventually made it back to Skjor, turned in our quest, and then asked the man himself for a few more quests to prove my worth. So we went to Stony Creek Cave, cleared out a few evildoers, and then retrieved the lost heirloom. Next, we had to hunt down an escaped criminal down in Riften. So we found him just wandering the roads just outside of town. And this was a big prisoner. So we blocked a few of his attacks to show him that we were, you know, tough. But he didn't back down. So we didn't back down either. We chopped his head straight off. With all the quests for Skjor complete, it was time to head back. So we turned in our quest over to Skjor, and he had even more quests for us. So of course we accepted, but we were pretty tired now. So it was time to get some sleep for now, and then conquer tomorrow. Now we needed to enter our Dragon Priest training arc. We stood no chance the last time getting two-shotted, so there were some changes we needed to make. So we spent the next few weeks questing. Everything from side quests like turning in the golden claw we found, completing even more companions quests by taking out these pesky bandits, finding escaped criminals, and then of course beating the snot out of these fair citizens of Skyrim. Of course, always taking the time to take in the magnificent sights. We found ourselves diving deeper into spell learning, from restoration spells to some pretty hefty destruction spells as well. We even had the chance to rescue Serana while the companions sent us out on a quest, which I'm not complaining. I think she's considered essential, so she can't die, thankfully. As well as learning some pretty powerful spells when it comes to healing ourselves, or even doing some damage. We made sure to upgrade our one-handed skill, as well as pick up this big baby, since we had the Meridia Beacon anyway. We even learned some just-in-case techniques, in case we needed it. Plus, I just wanted to see what these animations actually do. I'm liking it. All in all, we eventually made it to level 42, with our magic still intact at around 300, and then we upgraded our health and stamina a bit more. At this point in our journey, we were on day 93, but we had one last challenge to accomplish before I actually felt accomplished. So we took care of the bandits that reoccupied Bleak Falls Barrow, and with the help of Serana, It was real easy. Bandit after bandit went down. We were showing no mercy. Even Mama Spider was back in action. But this go around was much simpler. She didn't stand a chance again. We had finally made it back to the man that sauced us up, and it was time to pay him back. So we awakened this man's again, and we went straight in with the Dawn Guard blade. We weren't doing as much damage as I thought, but we weren't getting one-shotted this time. This was a good thing. We were, however, burning to a crisp. I had to back away and see if I can get some healing in, and it worked. So I went in with a dash. We were hacking and slashing, but his flames were just too much. Damn. We weren't giving up though. Maybe we just needed to keep our distance. So we started using our spells instead, which this first spell seemed to not have any effect. Damn. And our health was pretty low again. What the hell? This guy was still tough. And this time he finishes off with a blizzard. Damn. Maybe it was time to use our other skills with the bow and arrow this time. Doesn't hurt to try. We decided to take the high ground though and shoot from above. Our arrows they weren't even affecting him, it didn't look like. Damn. Either that or we were missing. So we went back in with the firebolt, but it was too late. Those blizzards were wrecking us. The hell? I only had one more plan I could think of. In our blocking tree, we had something called elemental protection. So if we can time our blocks right, we can get 50% less damage from fire and frost. Let's hope it works. We went in straight away, hacking and slashing with the Dawnbreaker, and tried to block as much as we could, but I couldn't see. There was flames in my face, but it seemed like it was working. We got in close and we didn't let him escape, but we could not forget to block. This guy was trying to burn us down. We got caught in a stagger animation, so we had to take a deep step back. We went down below and tried sipping on a potion before we burned to death. Damn. But now we had to get back up without being caught lacking. Serana was doing her duty though. She was an absolute tank, but I had to support her. I came from the back and started slashing until we finished him off. Wow. And we got the Dragonstone. All this for the Dragonstone. Serana, thank you. I love you. Wow. I don't know if I would have been able to do that without Serana. Now that's an accomplishment right there. So we exited this cave, not in shame, but in deep triumph. We had bested our mortal enemy, and it almost took just under 100 days, right? Which isn't too bad, I think. But it was time to finally turn in this quest. So we went to our man Farengar while he was accompanied by Delphiner, and then we decided to chill. We bought ourselves a nice cozy house. I think we deserved it after all. And I thought the key was for the Breeze home, but I was sadly mistaken. Instead, it was at the Tundra Homestead, where it was quite cozy indeed. The perfect place to lay one's head after conquering a dragon priest. So lay our head we did, Serana and I, at least until our next adventure. We were now on day 100, and although we progressed a lot, we still had a long way to go. Lucky enough for us though, we've recruited 2 additional helpers to aid us on our adventure. So we enlisted the aid of Janessa from the Drunken Huntsman, and then Uthgir the Unbroken from the Inn in Whiterun. But now it was time to continue. The Companions Guild was still calling our name, and we had a few Companions Guild quests to accomplish. So we went over to Brood Cave for our first mission, where we had to battle a pretty big bear. But there was a whole family of bears in the area. But with the extra help of our new team, these bears didn't stand a chance. And that was only the outside. Once we got inside, there were trolls to take out. And I guess spiders too. Damn, this cave was full of everything. We decided to take some distance though and attack with our firebolt. I wasn't trying to get one-tapped, but once the spider, bear, and troll were dead, that was mission complete. We now had the dispatch of an unwanted visitor. These Haygravens were just running amok somehow, but again, they were no match. This one was quickly sliced down. Our third quest took us to Shoal Farm, where an escaped prisoner was on the loose. This guy was actually armored up, but a quick hit to the back of the head took him out, and then we stole his Horker stew. Thanks for that. We then made it back to Jorvaskr, where we were promptly greeted by Vilkas. This was the opportunity we were waiting for. A circle gathered around, and now we were officially welcomed as a companion. Fartkis vouched for us, and just like that, all of our hard work paid off. We then went to turn in our quests, but then after I asked for some more difficult work, Skjor told me to meet him at midnight. Now we were talking. So we waited till midnight, and then we went with Skjor over to the Underforge. The full moon was perfect for this occasion. Skjor took us in. We then agreed to become a werewolf with Aella's sacrifice. We sipped from the fountain, passed out for a bit, and then woke up as a werewolf. Damn, this looks nice. Oh damn, we crashed. Like I was saying, damn, this is a cool werewolf design. I really like this. So we ran through the night, testing our new powers. We were even able to fight a bear. Eventually though, we passed out again and came to right next to Aella. This time Aella had a quest for me. Skjor was already inside leading the charge. This mission was to kill the entire Silverhand gang, and it was time to shine. So we engaged in combat, slicing these minions down one by one, and they really stood no chance. So we pushed on through the main door. Heads of my brethren were on spikes. I couldn't let this slide. So we continued slicing and dicing, with my army of followers helping me out. We had a mini army infiltrating this fortress. Each wave of soldiers were sliced. These guys were a little too weak, at least compared to the dragon Never mind. An arrow hit us right in the gut, but we were back for round 2. We knew what to expect now. So this time we lured them into the hall, so we had some cover behind the corner, and we eventually sliced them all down. But now the bows were trying to hit their shots, but Serana quickly sucked them up. Damn. We finished the remaining bandits and pushed on forward. One more Silverhand eliminated, which sounded for reinforcements, which was quickly dispatched of as well. But then we ended up making it to the main room, with an archer blocking the way in. We had to be careful here, so we relied on some distance. My aim wasn't aiming, but eventually it decided to work out. And once we pushed in, most of them were just in a hallway, so we hit them with that AoE damage. And once the dust settled, we realized that Skjor had been slain, but we couldn't let his gear go to waste, so we took it. We then killed the rest of the Silverhand, and then that's when Aella found the body as well. Damn, he was a good one. Aella went to take care of the body, and then it was time to return to Jorrvaskr. We now had 3 quests to accomplish, the first of which was to steal plans at Faldar's Tooth. So now it was time to infiltrate the base. We took care of the first guards, and then took care of their archers. Their dogs were also no challenge. We then gained access and defeated the bandits until we eventually made it to the top level. We took the plans, and now it was time to take out the leader of the Silverhands. So we infiltrated their hideout, took care of the minions, and then we laid waste to their big bad boss. That one was for Skjor. Our last quest from Aella had us retrieve a fragment of Wuthrad again, so we zipped on over to Treva's watch. This place was buckled up tighter than my seatbelt though. They weren't letting anybody in, so we found an alternate path, but it seemed like they were expecting company. We were met with a greeting, but it was nothing we couldn't handle, so we took care of the underlings. We infiltrated deep enough until we found the man with the plan. We had to take out one final person, so we proceeded to bust this man down, or at least try to. But Serana had my back. Appreciate that. We retrieved the fragment of Wuthrad, absorbed some books again, can never have enough XP, and then made our way back over to the companions. We met back up with Aella. We turned in our quests and accepted even more Silverhand extermination jobs. Skjor was still being avenged. We rested for the night before finishing Aella's quests. We now had to strike down another leader of the Silverhands, so we started dishing some damage, and then even using their fallen comrades' corpses against them. Serana had that blood magic. This fort was quickly taken over, with little resistance. These Silverhands didn't stand a chance. We then made our way inside, but this way was locked, so we found an alternate path on the 2nd floor. There was one huge guy waiting for us, but he didn't stand a chance. He did, however, have a handy key that we would need. It unlocked the main gate, which opened up the Silverhands for some more decimation. The boss ended up being slaughtered, and now it was time to return to Aella. After returning the quests, there really wasn't much else yet, so we went to go see if we could progress the main story a bit. And soon after having a chat with Farengar, Irilith had some news. There was a dragon sighting, and it was on the outskirts of Whiterun. Uh-oh. So I joined in on their dragon meeting. Since I was successful with the dragon priest, the Jarl wanted me to go with his army to defend Whiterun against the dragon. I had to do my duty, and facing a dragon would be a pretty good test. So we met Irilith at the meeting point, where the dragon destroyed the tower, and now it was time to see what this dragon was all about. So we went in cautiously, and that's when the dragon showed himself. Damn, it was time to do battle against this level 80 dragon. Holy moly. So we started launching our essence drain, which did some decent damage. Then as soon as I got closer to do some melee, he leapt up in the air. We just couldn't get caught by his fire breath. He landed again, and now it was my chance. So I went in to do some slicing and dicing. But the only thing sliced and diced was me. I got one tapped. It was time for round 2 though. This time distance would be key. We had to rely on our magic abilities now. So we unleashed some fireballs which did some pretty decent damage. This is the way. We just had to play a game of cat and mouse while we regenerate that magicka. Or sip on a few potions, that is. We did get caught by one fireball though, and that absolutely burned our health down. Damn. Round 3 was time to get serious. We equipped our Velothi crown, which makes us deal 35% less damage. So hopefully this was the way. I was definitely thankful for the archers. They were laying in work, and I did what I could as soon as he landed. This Game of Thrones dragon came to the wrong universe. I ended up taking out the bow as well to do whatever little damage I could do, which definitely wasn't much. After a long game of cat and mouse though, that dragon soul was ours. Maybe not the most fairest of fights, but we sure definitely earned it. We now had our first force shout. This would definitely come in handy. But now it's time to report back to the Jarl. That's when we heard a rumble in the sky. It was the Greybeards. We'll have fun with them later. The Jarl was thankful, and he even told me about the Greybeards himself. It was time to make the journey of the great 7,000 steps. But before we went, Lydia tried to get my number, and I told her, alright, sounds good. So we made it over to Iverstead, where we booked a room for a night, rested, had ourselves a little breakfast, started our journey up these 7,000 steps. We ran into friendly goats, a few monuments, and even battled it out with some trolls. But I've dealt with you guys before. We just had to avoid getting smacked. So we used the Dawnguard blade to do some damage. But this guy's health was regenerating astonishingly fast. So we had to take those hits while we were giving him hits to finally finish him off. About halfway through, the wind started to pick up. And then I guess back there was the baby troll, because Mama Troll was ready to battle. Damn, it's a good thing I recruited Lydia. This time we had to be smart and use some fire to get that constant damage in. But this guy didn't seem to want to fight. He was running away. We caught him on the edge of the cliff and we surrounded him. This guy may have been powerful by himself, but not in a group. So we took him down. We did, however, make it to the top, where the start of our Dragonborn lessons would begin. It was time to enter now and answer the summons, and we were greeted with a warm welcome. These Greybeards now wanted me to breathe on them. I was beginning to think they haven't seen a woman in a long time, so I did as they asked. They were happy with the outcome, and they agreed to teach me some things. They taught me all about the Dragonborn things, and even told me I had a special power to absorb them rapidly. We then learned the word ro, and then sucked up the power to actually use it. We then got some Fus Ro training until the Greybeards were satisfied. And after a third shout, now the Greybeards offered to teach me some new shouts. How kind of them. So now we learned the word Wold, which was whirlwind. We sucked up some more knowledge, and then we had to prove ourselves again. So we passed their test, and now the Greybeards had a task for me. Retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. I think I said that right. So off to Ustengrav we went, where a group of bandits thought they owned the place. We had to teach them a lesson. So we took them down, making sure these guys would never come back. These guys set up camp in the wrong location. I almost felt sorry for them. We finished off the bandits and entered Ustengraven, and it was time to take out the trash. So we went in with no remorse and took out the first few bandits in the area. We then got deep enough to find the Draugr. Damn. So we lit these guys on fire with our sword. These guys were getting slaughtered. Damn. That sword really comes in handy. We ventured in farther, taking care of the undead, but we eventually pushed through until we got to Ustengrav depths. Here we were met with even more Draugr, which we systematically took out. We then ended up making it to a huge chamber, where we were met with skeletal soldiers. We bust these guys down like rolling pins. We now had a use for our new power, so we whirlwinded our way into the new area. This brought us to the trap section. Damn, I hate this place. We basically did a mad sprint, hopping from side to side, avoiding any fire. We sliced down the spiders, and then we finally made it to the main chamber, where we were greeted with, well, you know, we had some cool gear. So we picked up the Greybeard robe set, a key to a chest, and then the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. The Greybeard stuff didn't look too bad, actually. I like it. So we used the key to open the chest, and then we had some more cool gear. So the Windcaller staff, Windcaller hood, robes, gloves, boots, and a cloak. Nice. We decided to put on the cloak because it had physics. So we left Ustengrav and proceeded to head back to the Greybeards. We went to return the horn, and now it was time to be formally recognized as the Dragonborn. They taught us the final word of Fusroda. Another ceremony began where 4 old men whispered in my ear. Damn, I kind of like that. We now had the full power shout, which kind of looked like a Kamehameha. But now I feel like I needed a couple levels, so it was time to clear out a few of these miscellaneous quests. Our first one was to secure a paraglider, because this is just too good not to have. So we found our way up to the flight platform, secured our paraglider, and then took our leap of faith. Damn, it just doesn't get any better than that. Breath of the Wild in Skyrim, and it works flawlessly. Oh, hey, oh. Never mind, we good. Now it's time to find Red Eagle's sword. We journeyed over to Eagle Redoubt and had to take out some of these 4 sworn nearby. So we fireballed them up and secured the area. There was even a Minotaur looking guy. Damn, that's actually a cool design. But we took him out from the back. Damn, that was deadly. We entered the cave and I was excited for a potentially new useful weapon. So we slayed the 4 sworn at the entrance, almost getting slayed ourselves. But we continued to push on through. Serana was leading the charge. The frontline soldiers were taken out, and another Minotaur guy came to play. Maybe he was mad from his brother, so we took him out pretty quickly. We made our way out into the upper levels, where there were more enemies to take care of. So that's what we did. We took care of business. I wasn't even afraid of archers anymore. Damn. I think it was this new cloak or something. We must have got coolness points. Then we ran into well, it looks like it's a new type of Minotaur. Oh my god. And they came in with a powerful attack. I needed to get out of there. Holy moly. I don't know what kind of spell that was, but they absolutely drained me. Serana was taking most of the damage though, so I had to provide some kind of support. But I was absolutely drained. I had to let her take the lead, which she absolutely did. Nobody was left standing. Damn, Serana, I appreciate that. We then got to a point where there was this huge giant. I ain't never seen this creature before ever in my Skyrim playthroughs. Damn. That was quite a surprise. I didn't know quite where to start yet, so I backed up a bit, just in case he was super strong. I had to take out this Minotaur and Forsworn first. That's when I noticed that spell was coming from that creature. Damn, I was absolutely getting drained. That's when I got sliced down. Round 2 was different though. Somehow, I don't think my magic was affecting him. Damn, that means only physical damage, which I couldn't tell if it was working or not. Maybe this new Windcaller staff would do some justice. It didn't, but thankfully, this guy had what I needed. Red Eagle's Fury. That's all I needed to progress. So I equipped the new sword and just left. That dude was too powerful. We went to go unlock the remaining mysteries of Red Eagle Redoubt. So we made it inside Rebel's Cairn, where we had to insert the sword. I'm gonna miss that sword. But it unlocked a door for us. And inside was another huge room, where a big boss was waiting. Damn, he hit us with a big fireball right off the bat. But after a buttload of firebolts, this guy was finally slain. He had a pretty nice fire sword that deals 50 damage, and then an even better necklace. Damn. This quest was now complete, so we grabbed our sword on the way out, and then went on to the next one. We then ventured back over to Riverwood, where we took a rest. We slept till the morning time, leveled up once again, and then went over to the Sleeping Giant Inn to see if we could progress the main quest. We went to go talk to Delphiner, but I had no luck. Damn. So instead we completed a few more Companions Guild quests by stealing some more plans and then killing another Hagraven. She did. We then went back to Whiterun to say hello to Aella to turn in our quests. It's been a while. I then found Kodlak looking sad, so I decided to have a chat with him. He had a quest for me. I was tasked to wipe out some witches, the ones who put the curse on the companions, turning them into werewolves. I had to do my duty, so we walked over to Glenmorrow Coven, where our next battle would begin. There were undead werewolves here, damn. But with the power of my 2 fire blades, a little dodging, and the help of Serana, we were able to quell these beasts. Serana commanded one of the witches, and then we went to go hunt the rest. We took the head of all of these witches, and then made the journey back to Kodlak. When we got there, it looked like we had been attacked by the Silverhand. I hope Kodlak was okay. When I entered though, Kodlak had been slain. My man. Sorry, Master. This was an injustice that needed to be dealt with swiftly, so we went out once again. This time with Vilkas by my side as well. We went over to Driftshade Refuge, where we absolutely demolished the Silverhands. This was about revenge this time, so we infiltrated their base, burning anybody in our path. They had locked the initial door, but there's always a way around. so we took the path less traveled. We battled our way through narrow hallways until we made it into the cellar. The cellar had even more Silverhand, but after what they did to Kodlak, we couldn't let them survive. So we slayed the Silverhand with our new Red Eagle sword until we made it to the main room. The last few Silverhand remained. We were on the path to revenge, and they were all slain. We collected the fragments of Wuthrad, and now it was time to return back to the companions once more. Once we returned, it was time to pay our respects to our dear man Kodlak. A beautiful ceremony began, and then Kodlak was sent to the great above. Rest in peace, my dog. I'll miss you. Orlin then told me to give him the fragments of Wuthrad. He was going to rebuild that great weapon, but he needed one more fragment from Kodlak's room. I obliged to go get it for him, so we searched around this dead man's belongings and grabbed the last piece. We absorbed a few books as well. Appreciate that, Kodlak. We then went to go give the last fragment over to Orlin. That's when we had to go meet our companions in the Underforge, so we scurried on over real quick. That's where we ran into a dilemma. Orlin had rebuilt Wuthrad in all of its glory, and he entrusted it to me. It was now time to do battle one last time, and this battle would not be easier than the last. There was an army of undead werewolf laying in wake, and we had to tear them down one by one. But Serana was a tank, and she was attracting all of the damage. I couldn't do without her, and this fire sword definitely helped out a lot. But now that the entrance was clear, it was time to enter. So we entered Ysgramor's tome, and I was suddenly appointed leader of the companions. We returned Wuthrad to his rightful place, and that unlocked the door forward. It was time to end this. So we faced some apparitions, but with the full force of the companions, these guys were in a losing battle. We sent these guys back to their final resting place, which pushed us even deeper into the catacombs. After a quick push, we made it to the final chamber, where we slayed the last few apparitions, and then were met with Kodlak's spirit. We needed to put the witches' heads into the fire to release the magic. And once we did, we were greeted by the cursed spirit himself. And this guy was pretty ruthless. I definitely had to keep my distance on this guy. But with the combined might of everybody, slicing and dicing him down, this cursed spirit didn't stand a chance. We killed Kodlak's beast spirit, offering him the chance to return to Sovngarde. His spirit was now in rest, and Aela was surprised Kodlak named me leader, but she wasn't mad. We found a chest with the shield of Ysgramor. Damn, that looks nice. Aela even agreed to join me on my new quests, and with this dragon armor, I wasn't complaining. Welcome to the team, Aela. We took the scenic route back over to Whiterun, and then returned to Jorrvaskr to revel in our new glory. We took a moment to rest and recover. We accomplished a lot, but there was still so much left to do. The world still needs saving though, so we went to go pay our man Farengar a visit, and afterwards he got teased by this kid. Poor Secret Fire. We asked Farengar for his contact to contact us, so I guess now we had to wait. And while we were waiting, we were confronted by these goons. They wanted to know if I was the Dragonborn, and when I said yes, they called me a liar. We had to take them out. We slayed these guys in the middle of the street, and apparently there was a new Dragonborn in town. Damn. We then thought it was time to finally invest in a horse, so we bought ourselves a trusty steed, and then even bought it some armor. Our horse was looking majestic. Damn. And it would definitely help us get around a lot faster. While we were waiting around, a man named the Ebony Warrior came and said hi. He told me to come find him for a final challenge, and that armor was looking kinda spicy. I accepted his challenge, but at a later date. For now, we needed to go to the inn, and at the inn we met somebody that needed some help. We needed to steal some kind of painting from the Thalmor. So off we went again. We ventured on over to Solitude, put on our hood, and then snuck in, which we're not that sneaky since we don't have any sneak perk skills. But nonetheless, we found the chest, and in the chest was the painting that we needed to take. So we successfully nabbed it, and then returned back to the inn to go talk to our mysterious friend. I then agreed to join her for a drink as congratulations. So I took a swig, and then another swig, and then one more for good measure. And we both passed out. When I came to, I was in a jail cell. We were paralyzed by the Thalmor and then taken hostage. Damn. I now had to find some kind of way out. The door had a combination lock. I just needed to figure out the passcode. So I searched this prisoner's body and then found out the code. We also found a book to help decipher the code, which helped us unlock the door. And now we were off to see what's what, but we quickly alerted the guards. Damn, it's a good thing they can't take my magic away. We ended up slaughtering the guards, equipped their weapons and their armor. And now it was a fair fight, kind of. We took care of the remaining guards, which gave us even better armor now. And now it was time to press on. We needed to escape this prison. After another series of puzzles, we made our way through a portal. More Thalmor were disposed of, and Aela came out of nowhere for the rescue. We are now on the streets of Solitude, and we had to rescue our new friend. They were trying to take her over to Somerset Isle for an execution, but not if I had anything to do with that. So we hopped on the new ride. Unfortunately, I didn't know this was a timed quest. So while I was taking a nap and then traveled over to where we could rescue our friend, it was already too late. Damn, she was taken over to Somerset Isle and executed. Maybe next time. I honestly hate quests like that have a time limit, but it is what it is. Damn. I now needed to release some anger, so I went to where the Ebony Knight stood to see if I could best him in battle. So he accepted his challenge, and I didn't know he was level 150. Holy moly. And this wasn't a fair fight. What the I was one tapped. Obviously, I wasn't ready for that. Damn. But at least now we had a challenge to look forward to. I'll be back, Ebony Knight. Don't you worry. But for now though, we retreated over back to Tundra Homestead in order to rest up and regroup with Aela and Serana. We were now on day 125, and the Ebony Knight was our next challenge. We were now on day 125, and with our defeat from the hands of the Ebony Warrior, it was time to do a little training. So with the help of some new gear, a couple of new allies, and the goal to defeat the Ebony Warrior, it was now time to head out. We definitely needed to gain a few levels, some new gear, and some more powerful spells if we were going to last even 5 seconds with the Ebony Warrior. So we set off on the path from Riverwood, crossed the bridge in Whiterun, all in the hopes of refining our skill and gaining a bit more experience. And just fighting wolves weren't going to suffice. We needed more powerful foes. So the first place we stumbled upon was a Stone of Power, but it was guarded by some fiendish enemies. This shouldn't be too bad, right? So we made our way through the side entrance, greeted by some skeletons. A little fire took them out quickly. At the top, we were confronted by the sorcerer, who warned us, but we don't take warnings lightly. We quickly gave him one slice, and he fell. We took out his dog as well. These were not the enemies we were looking for, not strong enough. It seems that he had a partner though down below. Maybe she would be more formidable. So we doused her with some flames, and she went down pretty quick. Damn. They did have a Staff of the Revenant though, which seemed pretty powerful, being able to reanimate dead bodies up to level 26. This might come in handy. But for now, it's time to move on. We needed even more powerful enemies, and we also needed to test some of our new skills. So we tested to see if our bow skills improved a bit. It looks like it did. We continued on the path though, and our next stop took us to Golden Rock, where we witnessed a giant and a bear battling it out. This place seemed to be the home of some giants, which I didn't want to disturb. I know with this many giants around, I would definitely be demolished. Plus these guys were just minding their own business. No need to disturb them. So instead we went further down the path until we made it over to Valtheim Towers. This was a bandit hideout, and this was another good opportunity to gain some experience. The only problem was there were no bandits around. Damn, maybe next time. So at last we had to continue on, and once we made it down the hill, we found a place called Dark Shade, and the entrance was absolutely littered with corpses. What would we find in here? So we went in cautiously. Even inside the cave, there were corpses everywhere. And even though we heard faint growls, there were no creatures to be found. Damn, it was time to leave the cave. So we still continued down the path, eventually crossing a bridge and running into even more Dragon Priest cultists. Last time these guys kind of took me out quickly, but this time they weren't any hassle. A couple of quick slashes easily took them out, but they still weren't the challenge that we were looking for. We then ran into a fort called Armel, where there were people raring to fight, and I was looking forward to it. Unfortunately, we took out these mages pretty quickly, so we decided to move on once again. We stumbled upon another cave with even more corpses littered around the entrance. Was this some kind of warning? Only one way to find out. It wasn't a warning. This was a cave I've been to before, which I forgot about. So it was time to head back out. We ended up making it to a town called Darkwater Crossing, where we kind of chilled for a bit to listen to the stories of these townsfolk. Damn, they even got the kids working here. But that's when we noticed a dragon in the distance. It was our time to shine. So we hopped back on the horse and we rode into the direction of the dragon. It was go time. The dragon landed, and thankfully it was only a level 30. This one should be pretty easy to take down. So we launched those fireballs at him. While Aela was shooting her shot with the bow, I like that. We just needed him to land so we can go to Pound Town. The dragon finally landed. That's when I came in swinging. We were swinging our blade, doing only a little bit of damage, unfortunately. Damn. This battle might take longer than I thought. We eventually got it to a point, though, where he was low enough to where we finally took him down. Yeah, you like that, don't you? If a level 30 dragon took this long to take out, I can only imagine Wiener. We absorbed his dragon soul. Then it was time to take down some bandits. Also, we could rest for the night. So we took down the last of them, and they actually ended up being vampires. My bad. We then used those bandits' makeshift camp to rest for the night. When it gets dark in Lorerim, it gets dark in Lorerim. So we had some breakfast, another dose of that cabbage stew, and now it was time to head off again. There was another dragon in the area, but I wasn't down for this one. Not yet. So instead we rode to safety. And we were really running low on food. It was time to head back to Riverwood. So we rode on back and went to the inn, where we bought some delicious grub, and then got prompted by Delphiner to sleep in the attic room. Now we're talking. So we slept in the attic room while Delphiner was watching me sleep. What the hell? So we followed her to her secret underground laboratory, which was honestly kind of cozy. And then we got down to business. So she told me about a dragon we needed to go kill in order to prove myself. That's when Ayala confronted me, basically telling Delphiner off. I agree. So Delphine got into her steel armor, and it was time to head out. We had a dragon to slay. So we headed over to the town in question, and there was a big dragon there. But I don't think this was the dragon we were supposed to fight. What the? We had to take him out anyway. Damn. With the help of a wolf, the townspeople, and a friendly giant, this dragon was sucked up. Even the kids lended a helping hand. Appreciate that. But we had another dragon to slay, and it was right around the corner. We were warned by a townsperson, and it looked like the guards had already been slaughtered. Damn. So we made our way up to the top of the hill to go and find this dragon. And that's when the storm really turned itself on. Wiener was here, and he was resurrecting his brethren. Uh-oh. This is not good. We couldn't let this man resurrect. He was, however, a level 50. So we potentially had a chance, especially with all these allies helping us. So we went in from the back, hitting it the best we could, trying to avoid his aerial assaults. And when he landed, we went in. This guy wasn't too bad. His dragon breath didn't seem to just burn us to a crisp. And Delphiner was actually helping out quite a bit too. I was impressed. He did, however, hit us with that dragon wing, and we got rocked. Damn, I needed some health real quick. There we go, I like that. This dragon did inevitably fall though. He didn't stand a chance with this mini army. One more dragon down. And look at the detail on that thing. Sheesh. Now Delphine finally believed I was the Dragonborn. For now, we needed to head back to Riverwood for our next quest. So over to Riverwood we went. So we met Delphine back at the inn. We now had to sneak into the Thalmor embassy. We had to go over to Solitude first. So we hopped on our trusty steed and then rode on over. We had to go to the inn to meet somebody, to smuggle some gear in. So we talked to a man called Malborn. I didn't give him anything though. We were gonna raw dog this embassy. Before we met Delphine though, we rented a room since it was pretty dark out. The barkeep then graciously showed me to my room with a meat cleaver attached to his hip. What the hell? And then we had a peaceful sleep before the big day. Morning time came, and we had to meet Delphiner down the hill. She had a cart waiting for us to take us up to the party, and then we had to dress the part. So we put on our party clothes and party shoes, and it looks like we were ready to party up a storm. So we boarded the carriage and were whisked away over to the Thalmor embassy, with a witch head still attached to our hip. Uh-oh, hopefully nobody says anything. And then we saw a really drunk guy just sitting out in the cold. We showed our invitation and then headed on inside, where we were meted by a delectable elf. We introduced ourselves and then started to greet ourselves to the other patrons. We then had to provide a distraction, and this drunk guy was perfect for the job. I coaxed him with a drink and then told him to make a racket. He did his job miraculously, so we slid through the back door, and then we slid into the kitchen where we stole some cheese. That's gonna be good. It was now time to cause a ruckus, so we went in and drained some Thalmor. So we took out the guards and commandeered their gear for a bit, all while infiltrating deeper inside the embassy. We had a few more guards to take out over here as well, which we disposed of, allowing us to push in even farther. These guys were taken out as well, and now we needed to find a key and a bunch of books. So we read each book one by one until we found the information we were looking for. We then made our way into the dungeon, where we took out even more guards, got information on Esbern, and then decided to release a prisoner. I snuck with our newly released prisoner out into the basement. In the basement was a troll though. What the? Who keeps the troll in the basement? This guy was easily beat with a couple of firebolts though, thankfully. So we made it out of the cave. We were thanked by the prisoner, and then it was time to return to Delphina. Upon talking to her, she knew of the guy in question, Esbern. Now we had to find a man in the sewers of Riften. So over to Riften we went, where the companions were getting a little giddy. What the hell? We took a rest at the inn though, since it was dark. So we slept for the night, and then went to the sewers to find our man. We had a very friendly greeting, but unfortunately these guys didn't last too long. Remiel sliced them down. Damn. We made our way through this maze of dangers though, taking out the sewer rats and any thieves that came our way. He did. We eventually made it to the Rag and Flagon though, where it was dark, damp, and murky, but still kind of cozy at the same time. We went to go chat with the barkeep to get some more info. He told us that he was a little bit deeper down in these ratways, so we had to go even deeper. And right on cue, there were Thalmor agents. They're already hot on his tail, but Fargus and I went to go slice him and dice him. This man was ready for some action, so he swung his great sword, and the Thalmor were getting taken out by their own fireballs. Damn. We did make it to where Esbern stayed though. We gave his door a little knock. We gave him this secret code, and then we waited for him to unlock the door. We took this time to absorb some of his books, and then we convinced him to go to Riverwood to meet Delphine. So we waited for him to gather his gear, and then it was time to move. But the Thalmor had found us again. We had to take them out first. These guys wish they didn't come down here. We made our way out of the sewers, and then back to Riverwood to meet up with Delphina. Upon arriving to Riverwood, we found out Ralof was dead. What the hell? Rest in peace, my man. Delphine and Esbern had a happy reunion, but it was time to talk business. So we went back underground to discuss our next move. We now had to go to Karthspire to find Dragonhaven Temple, but there was Forsworn in the area. Perfect. I was ready to get back into battle. It was now time to weave our way through the army of Forsworn, but there was a dragon in the area as well. What the hell? And there were archers from every angle. Damn. This was really like a war. We then took an arrow to the knee. Damn. For round 2, we decided to take the back way. We then just decided to run to the entrance. There was a dragon in the area, as well as a butt ton of archers. This would have just been a losing battle. So we went inside to take care of the smaller Forsworn army, dual wielding our blades, which made it much simpler. These guys were much easier to handle. So we made it to our first puzzle, which was solved with deep mastery. And then we found ourselves at our next puzzle, which the secret is to just hop and run. That was easy. The next bridge fell, and then we found ourselves inside of an immaculate temple. So we had to give some of our Dragonborn blood inside of the blood seal in order to open up the door. The head receded inside, opening up a path, and inside was Skyhaven Temple, which looks extremely good in this mod pack. Damn. We then received a quick history lesson from our man Esbern. I had to move Delphine into place. I guess this quest was bugged or something. So we spent a few minutes sprinting at her to get her closer to Esbern. So we finally pushed her close enough, and then still nothing. What the hell? I'm not sure if the quest was bugged or not. So we went outside, where we promptly turned into a werewolf. Oh, it's because the full moon's out. Alright, so we basically just ran through the night. The plan was to complete a quest or two and go back to Skyhaven Temple to see if the bug worked itself out. So after slaughtering a few people and feeding on a few of the bodies, we finally transformed back to our original state. So this time we went to Morthal in search of a powerful artifact that could potentially help us on our journey. This quest was the House of Horrors, and upon entering this house, we were greeted by an apparition. We were helping this Vigilant of Stindar, and we were tasked to figure out what was happening in this house. This house was littered with ghosts. We were confronted by the Daedra in question, and the Vigilant tried to run for his life. Where you going, bro? This man was scared. The Vigilant then turned on me, but my team didn't give him a chance. He was quickly surrounded and taken out. That's what he gets for turning on me. We then followed the voice of this Daedra, telling us to go even further inside the house. And then we found a rusty mace. And once we tried to grab it, we were told to go retrieve somebody who did Molag dirty. So off we went once again. The guy we had to fetch was up in a tower, and this tower was protected by Forsworn. So we took out the few guards that there were, and then we entered into the fort. There was more Forsworn here, so we had some fun with some swordplay. And then we made it to our way back outside, but on the second floor. More Forsworn were slain, and then we finally made it into the tower, where our man was being kept prisoner. We took care of the Briarheart, picked up the key from his body, and then released Logroth. We bribed him to come with us, and now it was time to go back to the house of the Daedra. The man kept his word and returned to the house as well. Little did he know this was a trap. He was imprisoned by Molag Molag entrusted his mace to me, and he tasked me with beating this man down. So I did as he asked. We beat this man until he conceded. We hit him so hard he died, but Molag brought him back to life. So we started busting him up again. We beat him until he submitted fully. We then had to really end his life. Bye-bye, Logrov. Afterwards, we were gifted the Mace of Bolog. This might come in handy, and it's looking pretty nice. So now we went back to Skyhaven Temple, where the quest finally started again. Whew! I didn't think we'd be able to complete this playthrough. I was relieved. So now we got our history lesson. So we listened patiently, but we learned of a shout that may take down Alduiner. We now needed to go to the Throat of the World and go speak to the Greybeards. So we traveled back to the Greybeards for a little reunion. Ongear wasn't too happy I was working with the blades, but he helped me anyway. We just had to learn a new shout to clear the way. The Greybeards taught us 3 different words, and then we sucked up the knowledge again. It was now time to use our new power to clear the path. It worked perfectly, but we still had to make it to the top in order to learn the way to defeat Alduiner. So we marched our way up the mountain, clearing the storm as it came up, melting down these ice wraiths until we finally made it to the top. Party Snacks came down to say hi, and he taught us another handy shout, Fire Breath. We then had to breathe on him, and he quite liked it. We came to ask him to teach us the Dragonborn shout. He couldn't teach us the shout, but he pointed us in the right direction. We now needed to find an Elder Scroll, so we went back to the Greybeards to see if they knew any knowledge. He told us that the College of Winterhold may have the answer we seek, so back over to Winterhold we went. This time not to suck up the books. We had a chat with the Master of Books. He was able to point us in the right direction by giving us a few books to read. We now had to find a guy called Septimus Cygnus, an old hermit crab who had secluded himself away. We found him on the coast though, which he had some kind of guardian or something, but this man's wasn't strong enough, so we were able to go inside. This man told us where we could potentially find the Elder Scroll. We had to go to a place called Blackreach, which we could find through Dwemer Ruins, so it was time to depart once again. We now had to travel to the Dwemer Ruin, where the hunt for the Elder Scroll would begin. We were now on day 175, and we were about to enter the Dwemer Ruin in search for the Elder Scroll. We had a tight band of warriors now, and we were almost on the final leg of our journey, but we still had a ways to go if we wanted to defeat Alduiner and the Ebony Warrior. So it was time to enter the ruins to see if we could find this Elder Scroll, which we needed in order to have any hope of defeating Alduiner. We've yet to face any of these dwarven enemies as well, so this would yet be another test of our skill. Our first match was a dwarven spider, which didn't present much of a challenge. We then saw the Khajiit, and he was going through some withdrawals, and then decided to attack us. He didn't last that long. We then had an encounter with whatever these things are. They kind of look like dwarven ballistas, but with a few swings of the blade, these guys went down as well. But now the real challenge happened with these battle spheres. But like the rest of these dwarven mechanics, they fell as well. Maybe a different story if I didn't have my gang around. A few more spears were dispatched, and then it was time to press on even deeper. I was happy that we had Remiel's dwarven pet to aid us. He probably knew all the weaknesses or something. I did, however, have to stop and look at how beautiful this was. I'd never seen the Dwemer ruins look this majestic. From the pulsating, what are those, egg sacs or something? The steam doing its business, the rusted look of the Dwemer metal, and then just the sound ambiance was top notch. I had to take some time to recognize. So they were egg sacs. We eventually made it deep enough though, to where we met even tougher foes. We now made it into Falmar territory. Dang you. And even though these guys were blind, they could do some damage. And these mages were particularly dangerous, but a few well-timed dodges and some firebolts made these guys burn to a crisp. These Falmar even had prisoners helping them out. What the hell? That's new. But it still didn't matter. This Red Eagle sword was still putting in that work. We continued going deeper in this maze of a cave though, until we finally made it to our next challenge. We opened up the gate, so we went on in to be greeted by the big man himself. We had to be careful not to get caught in that steam. I needed to stay back in this fight and dodge any attacks I could. This guy hit hard, but he was extremely slow. The team and I quickly overwhelmed him, and Serana was putting in that work. Thank you for that blood magic and frost. We then encountered these two having a little squabble, and then we watched them fight it out. That dude's head just got clean straight cut off. What the? and then Serana finished him off. Damn, that's dirty. It was time to move on though, so we inserted the sphere and unlocked the way forward. It was now time for Blackreach. And Blackreach, although dangerous, had this sort of magical charm. From the glowing mushrooms and flora, the glowing trees, and even the vines gave off this eerily cozy vibe. But we couldn't let that detract us from the goal. We needed to get out of here without getting killed. And I know this place was packed full of powerful monsters. So our main strategy was to run for the exit. And although this was extremely modded, the path was still the same, which somehow I still remember. And this place was absolutely packed with Falmer. They were trying to shoot me from the back, so I had to go in zigzag formation to evade. But we made it to the bridge and through the door, where we took the lever all the way up. A couple of Dwemer to go. I gotta say, this guy was extremely difficult. I was laying in shots, but his health regen was, I don't know what the hell. So I console command killed him. I'm sorry. It was an impossible battle. But after that little mishap, we finally made it. We made it to where the Elder Scroll lies. We just had to figure out this damn puzzle. So we placed the cube on the stand. The area lit up. Now it was time to press random buttons. So we clicked and we clacked. And then eventually a third button opened up, which we pressed. The glass panel started to glide. So we pressed it again. And then the fourth button opened up, which of course we pressed. And then the Elder Scroll glided on down, ready for us to nab. So we grabbed it, and it looked nice equipped on our backpack. Damn, that looked good. And then I guess one guy was down here for so long that he literally turned into a bag of bones. It was now time to go over to the time wound though. I don't know if I was ready for this next battle, but only time would tell. So before departing, we took a moment by the fire, listened to nothingness to prepare ourselves for the battle ahead. This one wasn't gonna be easy, but we couldn't wait forever. It was now time to go to the time wound and read the Elder Scroll. Party Snacks gave us an inspirational speech, and now it was time to move forward, or I should say, back to the past. So we opened up the Elder Scroll, and then that's when Alduiner came to say hi. It was now time to put Dragon Rin into action. So we struck him with our shout. He had no choice but to land. But this man was a maniac with damage. Level 250, what the hell? It was now time for round 2. The first plan was to equip Dragon's Bane and attack him up close, but I don't think that's an option. We had to keep that distance. So we hit him with another Dragon Rend, and this guy was raining meteors upon us. What the hell? So this time I stayed back, and Party Snacks was actually putting in some work. I like that. It was my time to go in and try to slice him. We did take out a chunk of his health, so all wasn't lost. We potentially had a chance if he played this right. He caught us lacking once again though. Damn. It was time for round 3. We took a meteor hit straight to the face this time. Damn. We waited till he was distracted this time and came to slice him from the back. Gotcha. And once he turned around, it was time to run. Holy. And we almost got killed with 7 health remaining. It's time to heal up. Damn, this dude was tough. He landed right on top of our head and took us out with one fatal blow. Damn. After an exceedingly long time though, and a few loading of saves, he was at half health. I kinda dragon rended both of these dragons to make them fight. It was almost like a Pokemon battle. We eventually took him down though. He got stuck in between Party Snacks at one point, which gave us unlimited access to shoot fireballs at his face. We definitely got lucky on that one. But afterwards, we needed to talk to the Greybeards. We told him we defeated Alduiner, but the Greybeards informed us he wasn't truly beaten. We had to go to where he actually lived. And the only way to do that was to capture ourselves a dragon. We had to go talk to an old friend, the Jarl. This man was hesitant at first, but as soon as I said the name Alduiner, he had no choice but to help. The next thing we needed to do was lure a dragon here. But in order to do that, we needed to learn a new shout. So we went back over to Skyhaven Temple, and the place actually looked like it was spruced up a bit. The blades were putting in that work. We went to go question our man Esbern though, or at least we tried to get his attention, but he was busy just swinging his blade. What the hell? So instead we partied back over to Party Snacks to see if he could help us out. He had a creepy stare in his eyes. He was able to teach us the words, and now we could call forth the dragon. So now it was time to go back to Dragon's Reach. We told the Jarl we were ready, and it was time to spring the trap. We called the dragon forth, and he came into action rather quickly. Damn. And then we dragon rended him out of the sky, come down to our level. Compared to Alduiner though, he didn't stand a chance, but maybe there was a reason why. There were 2 damn dragons. What the hell? This was the real Odova King. Holy moly. Wasn't expecting that. This time we made sure to lure him in, where he got captured. How do you like that? We then had a pleasant conversation. He agreed to take me to Alduin, but only if I released him. I really had no choice. So we went ahead and did so. It was now time to head out. So we hopped on our new ride and kind of floated along beside him. Wow, we transformed into a dragon, I guess. We were on the final leg to defeating Alduiner now, and I had no idea if we were even ready yet. Damn, it's time to find out. It was time to get to business though. There were Draugrs everywhere, and plenty of dragons roaming the sky. And we had ourselves a little dragon warm-up before the main event. This man was pretty strong though. He sent me ragdolling with just a flick of his wing. Damn. Get up, girl. Never mind, I'm dead. We were getting handled from the start, but that's not gonna stop us. So we slayed the Draugr again. Dragon rended this dragon, and then it was time to go in with the fire bolts. A few dragon rends later and a few slashes. This guy fell easily, but there were even more Draugr and dragons to confront. This was no time to rest, so we continued slaying these beasts, healing up when we could, all while continuing deeper. And when I say there were an army of Draugr, there were an army of Draugr. Holy moly. There's only one way forward though, one at a time. Oh! Get the Dragon Force out in full force. After those army of Draugr were defeated though, it was rather quiet. There were a few stragglers, but nothing too intense. So we gained access into the inside. Had to eat some cheese to re-up. And you know there were even more waiting for us. We hit him with a little slice and dice action. We solved the puzzle and then found out we really didn't solve it. Damn. So we made sure to actually solve it. There we go. We had yet another puzzle to solve though. But first we had to take out these dang archers. So we flipped those pillars and successfully got the right combo. And these undead were restless. Uh-oh. But we were plenty equipped to deal with the problem. We almost fell into one of these jar traps though. Damn, that was close. And then we took out this boss man to take his diamond claw. So we put in the fox, bug, and then dragon to unlock the door. That's Ron, you looking good. Wow. We then encountered a word of power, so we had to sip some of that Dragonborn sauce. This word was Storm Call, but we didn't come here for that. We came here for Alduiner, so we finally made it back outside. There were eerie whispers in the air now, and an energy projecting itself into the sky. Damn, it's time. I got one-shotted. What in the hell? Huh? What is this? Bro transported me back to bed. What the hell? That had to have been a dream, because we were back for round 2. And the reason I was getting one-shotted was because there's 3 dragon priests. Huh? What the hell? But in the end, that didn't matter. Every single one of them was eliminated. And you know we had to take their masks. Dang, we were kind of looking spicy now. Now it was time to enter. So we inserted the staff in the dragon seal, and it was time to make the leap of faith. We made it to the sacred land, Sovngarde. We used the clear skies to reveal the path, and we saw fallen soldiers on the road as well. I told him I could show him the path so he could make it to Sovngarde as well. But there was a dragon patrolling these skies, and lo and behold, we ran into Kodlak. What's up, big baby? But damn, he didn't reach what he was looking for. Alduin was hunting him, just like everybody else in this fog. Ain't no way I'm gonna let Kodlak suffer like that. We definitely had to do something about that. So we hit it with the double time until we were faced with Broly. This man wanted to battle first to prove I was the Dragonborn. So I gave him what he wanted, a few slices, and he conceded. Thank you, sir. Now it was time to enter this temple, and this sky was looking immaculate. Wow, that's pretty. It's even reflecting off the armor. Damn. We made it in the hall and were greeted by Ragnar Lothbrok. They had whole cows roasting. They had enough mead for weeks, and they had the absolute best musicians Skyrim had to offer. But we weren't here to relax. We haven't earned that honor yet. We had to talk to these 3 heroes first. So we talked to Aella's sister, Kodlak's looks like younger brother, and they all agreed to help me defeat Alduiner. With all of our powers combined, we could beat the mist and reveal him. They immediately wanted to go to battle. I was down with that. So it was time to go forth and engage in one final battle with Alduiner, the World Eater. We had a mini army for this battle, so I was feeling rather confident. But now it was time to combine our clear sky shout. So we all shouted in unison, clearing out this fog. But Alduin came back with even more fog. How dare he? 2 can play at that game. So we shouted again. Yeah. But Alduin was being pretty petty, so we gave it one more shout. And this one did the trick. Alduin came to say hi. So we had to dragon rend him out of the sky, dodge these damn meteors, and then try to get some cheap shots on the back. This man brought another dragon to the party too. I needed to play some pretty heavy support, keeping my allies up and keeping this dragon on the ground. Get up, we need you. They were actually chipping away at his health. I was proud of them. Eventually though, with a few healing spells, a few shots of that espresso, and a lot of load save scumming, or whatever you call it. call it. This man's went down. He exploded in a glorious fashion, and all the wiener was no more. Ayala battled so hard, she was covered in mud. Broly congratulated me, and I think Ayala just didn't want to get up. She was chilling. These guys were somehow still getting pounded by rocks. What the hell? But we had to go back to Tamriel. Broly had our back and sent us back. We returned back to the throat of the world, where we had sort of a dragon party, I guess. We still had a bone to pick though, with the Ebony Warrior. This was our true enemy, so we challenged him once again. So we engaged in battle, hopefully looking for a better outcome. I called for my new warrior friend from Sovngarde to come and assist us. We started bashing this man in the back, trying to dodge his attacks, draining that essence too. This man was overwhelmed. He didn't even have time to conjure up his little friend this time. But he did have time to slice me in the face. Damn, we got sent back home, and I guess my horse did too. What the hell? I still wasn't done with this man's. I needed a round 3. This time I tried to stay back, far away as I could, and let my helpers attack him from the back. But this man was fast. A little bit too fast. Holy moly. This time he had time to conjure his Storm Archonach. Damn. And one shield bash to the face and I fell. What the hell? He sent us packing back home again. Damn. Was there no limit to this man's strength? Was he more powerful than Wiener? I have no idea, but what I do know is that we're not done with him yet. We now had one task left to accomplish, and that was to defeat the Ebony Warrior. But as it stands, we stand no chance right now, so we need to do a little leveling up. It's time to train, find new weapons and armors, and help the citizens of Skyrim to gain more experience. So for now, we find ourselves in Whiterun, because there's a few quests we can use in order to start our training. So we're going to retrieve an heirloom from Greenspring Hollow. This shouldn't be too difficult, right? We first had to eliminate some of the wildlife in the area, which wasn't too much of a problem. We faced many a bear before, so these first 2 bears went down quite easily. Bye-bye, bear. There were some imps in the area as well, but these guys went down pretty quick too. A few swings of our blade took them down. One last bear was hiding in the cave though. He kind of blended right in with those rocks, but he didn't want to fight me for some reason. Maybe because there was a dragon patrolling the area. Damn, this dragon was beaming down some energy upon us. We had to hit it with them heels. Damn. Luckily we knew Dragon Rend, so we kept him on the ground. And with the combined might of our force, this man went down. Doesn't he know we beat all the wiener? So we retrieved the heirloom from the chest, and then went over to Rorgstead to give it back to its owner. He thanked me, and now it was time to move on. We then decided to do a quest that we've been putting off. We went back to the tomb of Isgrimor because Farkas wanted to be purified. We already helped out Vilkas earlier, so now we decided to help out Farkas as well. The only person who didn't want to be purified was Aiello, of course, and I guess myself. I kinda like the werewolf abilities, so we zigzagged our way through the catacombs until we reached the purification table again. We put the witch's head inside, and it was time to take on the beast. So we hacked and we slashed, and took that werewolf down. Farkas thanked me, and then decided to stay in the tomb a little bit longer, probably to reminisce about Konlak or something. We then decided to make a trip to the College of Winterhold in order to make sure this Elder Scroll got in the hands of the right person. So we made our way into the library to talk to our man. He first thought I was joking until he saw that Elder Scroll on my back. So he accepted it, and then it was time to move on once again. Now completing these small quests were fine, but we needed something challenging if we were going to get stronger defeating the Ebony Warrior. So Esbern has some knowledge about some dragon priests, and there were a whole lot out there to fight. So we made our way to the labyrinth in order to pursue this new lead. We found a new lead that we had to follow though, and a frost troll waiting for us on the way out. What you want, baby? So we hit him with our fire blade, and Yela hit him from the back, and that man went down. It was now time to find our first dragon priest. So we ventured over to the next Draugr ruin, where we had some bandits try to stop us. But these bandits were nothing special. We must have caught them at dinner time, because these guys were slow as hell. We even took some of their charred skeever to go. But now it was time to enter Volkskig. And of course there were more bandits in here as well. They were probably looking for some ancient kind of treasure. So we slayed the few bandits that were in here. We then had to solve this puzzle, which you have to activate the handles in the correct order. So we engaged these handles until we got the correct combo. This let us go even deeper into Volkskig, where there were Draugr to slay. But these Draugr weren't too strong, and they were quickly overwhelmed. We ended up falling through a trap door though. Damn. But thankfully not all the way down to these spikes, like that guy. We quickly got back on track though. So we went deeper and deeper, battling spiders, and of course more Draugr, until we finally made it to the peak of Volkskeeg. We sipped on some of that Dragonborn sauce, and that's when the man with the plan appeared, with an ice atronach. We stayed back, using Aela as a tank, and Serana was dealing that range damage as well. So we melted the ice atronach, and now it was only the Dragon Priest left. We battled this man all the way down the mountain, until we finally burned him alive. One Dragon Priest down, and we grabbed his mask, which allows you to breathe underwater and carry more. I like that. It wasn't over though. We had many more Dragon Priests to conquer. We headed back home first though, to rest up, level up, eat up, and then drop off some gear. I also went to go see Farengar to pick up the candlelight spell. Some of these dungeons were dark, and my torches were burning out fast. So now I had something to finally light the way. This would definitely come in handy. Now it was time to head off to the next Dragon Priest. Our next priest was located at Highgate Ruins, so it was time to suit up. We equipped our mask and then ventured forward. There were already Draugr slayed on the outside. This should be interesting. So we used our candlelight spell. Oh yeah, I like that. And now it was time for battle. So we hit these Draugr from the back, and then they started running. Interesting. There were a bunch of Draugr in this next area. Damn. We had to take these guys out quick. So we all went in as a team, taking out these Draugr, until not one was left. Then I noticed that we had company. Her name was Anska the Seeker, and she was actually looking for the Dragon Priest as well. What a coincidence. She was trying to defeat him as well, so I thought might as well team up. So we formed our temporary partnership and headed deeper into the crypt. It was time to have fun with Bolog's mace, so we started whacking Draugr with it. It was working like a charm. These Draugr were falling like flies. We then had to connect a series of levers in the correct order in order to release the way forward. And then we finally reached the catacombs, where there were more Draugr ready to get slain. We bullied these guys, finally feeling like somewhat of a god here. We continued pushing through though, until we got to the throne room. We made it to the prize, and this guy was already ready to battle. Damn. We again played from the back, launching those fireballs at him. This time he had Storm Atronach, and this guy was absolutely launching bombs. We cornered him though, and then hit him with a final power bash. This Dragon Priest was no more. We then of course had to grab his mask, which as long as we wear it, it makes certain spells cost less. I like the sound of that. And he also had some OP books. I might have to learn these. 2 Dragon Priests were down, and we had some more of that Dragonborn sauce to sip on. We made our way out of the dungeon now, and kind of forgot that Anska the Seeker was following us. I forgot she was looking for a scroll, so I went back to the throne room. I didn't see any scroll available, so then I checked in the Dragonborn sauce room. Maybe this sealed scroll would be it. And this Daedric sword, I need that. There was also a chest of Stalrim armor. We just found ourselves an upgrade, so we equipped ourselves up, looking pretty fly now, damn. And then we talked to the Seeker to see if it was her scroll. So we gave her the scroll, and then I guess we went our separate ways. Instead of letting her leave though, I wanted to see what the scroll said, but it was encrypted. I would never find out. So now we left the tome, and it was time to fight another Dragon Priest. This led us to another ruin in the Riften area, and there was somebody from the Imperial Legion requesting our help. He was sent by his captain to retrieve a powerful artifact, which happened to be the mask of this Dragon Priest. To be honest, he kinda looked fishy. I've never seen an elf in the Imperial Legion, but I said yes, I'll help. So we strolled into the ruins with him, and I thought he was gonna come inside with me, but instead he wanted me to retrieve it for him. Oh hell nah, I'm keeping this mask. Inside though, we found Legion members slain and dragon cultist ghosts. I was down for fighting some new enemies, so we slayed these ghosts in the catacombs in our mighty fine Stalrim armor, and we found beds, but with skeleton bones strewn about. I'm thinking this might have been some kind of Imperial fort, but then something bad happened. Damn. Venturing even further, there were burned corpses. They must have fell victim to the trap. We battled through seemingly endless hordes of the undead, until we finally made it to the door. I just needed to figure out the code now. And it was Fox, Owl, and Snake. We inserted the glass key, and now it was time for a long-awaited battle. So we entered the chamber, up the steps, and the man appeared right before us. Damn, this guy was the master of flames. I was the master of kicking Dragon Priest's butts though. Damn. Another Dragon Priest bit the dust, and this one happened to be the easiest one so far. So he picked up his keys, all of his spell books, his mask, which gives you more stamina, and then his staff. This dude even had a Daedric Warhammer inside, his tomb. I'll take that too. Which reminded me to equip my new Daedric sword. That looks spicy. That warhammer was too much for me to carry though, so I gave it over to Ayala. She would definitely slay some people with that thing. We also find this spicy looking dagger. We'll be taking that as well. We made it to the outside world now. Damn, what the hell? But there was somebody waiting for us on the outside. Who the hell is that? It started raining and thundering out here, and I was getting blasted by lightning. What the hell? We needed to heal up quick. What is going on right now? We are just getting blasted by lightning. This had to be one of the storm shouts. We had to potion ourselves up too. Damn. Thankfully, my horse ended up doing the finishing blow on that man. Appreciate that. So we hurried up and drank that Dragonborn sauce. Collected the gear off of that one dude, which he had a pretty beefy two-hander. We couldn't rest though. We had even more dragon priests to hunt down. So we made it to our next Draugr crypt, where we slayed the Draugr on the outside, testing our new Daedric weapon, and it was doing some justice. But now it was time to enter the inside. We made it inside though, an eerie silence in the air, and something that looked like an operation table. We made it to the inside of the chamber though, where we had some Draugr to take out. But not just any old Draugr could take us out. These guys were ripped apart with velocity. Damn. Now it looks like there was a lock on the actual tomb, and it required us to find 2 different items. Damn. We now had to find 2 pieces of the puzzle, and we found one on the pedestal in the next room over, which unlocked a boss fight. Let's take him out. He wasn't really a boss though. His head was sliced off immediately. Now we just had one more piece of the puzzle to find. The only question was where. So we backtracked into the tomb room to see if there was another door we could explore, and we were in luck. We found a new area to explore. We slayed these Draugr blocking the path with some well-timed blocks and a few slashes until we eventually battled our way to where the next key was. We took out its guardian and then took the skull for ourselves. It was now time to let the dragon priest out, so we made it back to the chamber, inserted one skull, got equipped real quick, and then entered the second one. We backed that thing up and then watched the man come out. It's time to take this dude on. Once his storm atronach were taken out, this man wasn't a problem at all. With Serana and Ayla as our tank, we were able to hit it from the back with those fireballs until he was weak enough for us to get up close and personal. Another dragon piece in the bag. We of course took his mask, which makes us more resistant to the elements, and then a few of his spellbooks as well. We then took back our skulls just in case. We went to go sip on that Dragonborn sauce again, learning Kind's peace. It was time to make our way out now though. We still had a lot of work to do, but we also needed to rest up as well. So we headed back to our quaint homestead, where a dragon seemingly was prowling about. Damn. There's never no rest for the Dragonborn. And then I noticed these skulls were equipped on my belt. Damn, that's cool. We hit it with the sleep though. Took down the hood so that we could have some of that breakfast. Ayla, what you doing, girl? And then it was time to let our hair down. We had 2 more dragon priests to go, and it seemed like one of them was near the place that we originally went when we found our first note. So we went back to the labyrinth, and then we looked for a way inside. We had a troll blocking the path, but I always love battling these things now. Wait, there was 2 trolls. What the hell? My teammates caused a distraction though, so I hit it from the back, and then these trolls fell with no issues. Still fun though. This place was quite the labyrinth though, looking for an entrance, but maybe there was no entrance. I went around and found some steps, and then we found a dragon. Somehow he didn't notice us, and then a corpse nearby as well. Now the dragon noticed us. Uh-oh. It was time to take this man's out. So we hit him with the dragon rend, and then he landed all the way down there. Okay, so I guess that was an easy defeat, kind of. Our dragon priest wasn't in this direction though. It was somewhere over there. So we made our way over to the correct location, all while enjoying the beauty of this snowpack mountain. I had a feeling our location was up on that ridge. We just had to figure out how to get there. So we cut through the labyrinth again, where we were greeted by another troll. We sliced him down with our fire blade though. This man stood no chance. And then we actually found an entrance, but I lacked the required item to use this door. Damn, maybe this was supposed to be the final dragon priest. So it was time to move on to the next one. So we made it over to Valthum, where we had to take on an imp before we got access to the door. And inside we were greeted by Valdar the Ghost. I agreed to help him in his cause. You never know how strong these dragon priests are. I had to bring this ghost some items, so we had the power to stop this dragon priest. So in the dungeon we went, becoming one step closer to fighting the Ebony Warrior. So we ventured in, battling some Draugr, slicing them down with our Red Eagle blade, and then we just ventured through the tomb looking for these vessels. We needed to find 3 of these things. We found hidden passageways and secret rooms, but none of the vessels yet. We had to look even harder. We then found ourselves inside of the catacombs, where we had some spideys to deal with. I let my teammates handle these guys, so they were squashed pretty quickly. I feel bad for the people that couldn't handle the spiders. Damn. We eventually got deep enough to find an iron dragon claw. Almost got burned to death, but it was conveniently placed near the door. We just had to enter the right code, insert the key, and then wait to see what was behind the door. It was more Draugr, so of course we had to lay waste to these guys. And afterwards, we found our first vessel. Perfect. We even had some of that Dragonborn sauce. It was time to go even deeper though. We had 2 more to find. I got lost for a bit looking for the next one, but we eventually found it. Now there was only 1 more left. The last one is always the hardest. Damn. And I knew we probably already passed by it. After a bit of running around aimlessly, I noticed our next vessel was behind this. Damn, they tried to do us dirty. But now we had all 3. It was time to perform the ritual. So we made it back to the main chamber, talked to our ghost man. It was now time to empty these vessels. So we poured his blood in the scones and then sat on the throne. His tome activated, and now it was time for battle. Damn, that happened quick. We engaged in a magical battle, and I lost. Damn, this dragon priest did me dirty. I laid there lifelessly for a bit, and to be honest, I never read the mod page for that specific mod, so I hit it with that reload. It was time for round 2. This time Serana was actually able to take him out. I appreciate that. This dude's electric magic was a hassle, so we took his cool looking staff, his mask, which makes you immune to poison and disease, and then of course his spell books. We talked to the ghost hero, and now he could finally rest. There was now only 1 dragon priest left, and it was the previous one that we left. After a bit of research though, it looks like the only way to get through this door was to join the College of Winterhold. Damn. In order to complete our dragon priest quest, it looks like we're gonna have to go to college. We were now on the hunt for the last dragon priest, but in order to gain access to that final chamber, we would have to become a student again. So we've made our way to the College of Winterhold so we could learn about the finer side of magic. We would do anything to have the power to finally destroy the Ebony Warrior. So we were welcomed by our admission specialist, Mirabelle. We were now officially a student of Hogwarts, and the first task of a student was to have a little tour around the college. We got shown where we'll be sleeping this semester, and it was actually quite cozy for being free 99. We learned that we'll be getting lessons from a guy named Tolfdir, and now it was time for our first day of class. So we joined in for our first lesson. I then assisted Tolfdir with a little class lesson. I gotta say that ward animation that's fire, look at that. I needed something more practical though. So I spoke to the teacher again. We now had to be a proper student and complete various lessons throughout the college. So for our first lesson, we went to the coast with Arniel. Here we needed to use magic to be able to breathe underwater, so we could dive deep enough to find this well-hidden chest, which had a crystal that we needed. Our lesson was complete, so we went back to Tolfdir, and there were still many more lessons to learn. So off we went. We ended up speaking to Faralda, which was our destruction expert. We had deep prowess in the arts of destruction though, so there was no need to learn anything from her. Off to the next instructor. We next met Finis, and then Sergius, Drevis, and then finally Colette. All of these beginning lessons were dealt with, and we were one step closer to getting to the Dragon Priest. So we talked to Tolfdir again, and he invited us on a little class field trip. So we made our way to Sarthel to help with the excavation efforts. So teacher took us inside these ruins to have a little tour. We came equipped with our candlelight spell to be a good student and light the way. So we took in the sights of these ruins, and then we were sent off to assist Arniel. So we headed on towards him. Arniel was busy though, so he sent me to wander around the northern chamber. That's when we saw a ring on the ground. I'll take that. We found an engraving and took the omelet off, and then we found ourselves trapped in this room. Damn. We told Tolfdir what happened, so we put on the amulet, and as we stood close to the wall, it started emanating. We then shot a fireball at this door to blast it open. Looks like we had no choice but to go forward, so we went forward and into a new chamber. Time was now frozen, and somebody came in to say hi. Somebody from the Sijic Order believed in me. Alright then. And then all of a sudden we were attacked by Draugr. What the hell? So we hit it from the back. These Draugr were nothing special. We had no choice but to keep moving forward, and moving forward meant more Draugr. It was time to get a little dirty, so we sliced these Draugr down, dodging and weaving their attacks until no one was standing. I like that. Tolfdir stayed put for now. We had to go even deeper, so we forged on ahead in these ruins, battling waves of the undead. We solved puzzles in order to unlock the way forward, and then Tolfdir finally popped up out of nowhere. Welcome back, teacher. And it was just in time. We stumbled upon some truly powerful magic, and we had the Draugr to take out. Nothing too bad to take out, but then we were left with this. Even Tolfdir had no idea what this was. So Tolfdir stood here for now. We sipped on some of that Dragonborn sauce, and then we went back to the college in order to give the Archmage the news. We told him what's what. Afterwards, we were questioned by Ancano. It seems he had a great interest in this orb. Afterwards, we headed to the local inn. We needed to restock up on some food and get some sleep, so we stocked up on some good eats, and then we got ourselves a night's stay. When we woke up, it was time to head back to the college. Afterwards, we hit up the library to see if we could learn anything about Sarthal. He used to have the book on the subject, but somebody had stolen some books, so it was time to find these stolen books. So we made our way over to Felglow Keep. There were some hostile mages in the area, and it was time to take these guys out. But they had monstrosities on their side too. Damn, what the hell was that? Whatever it was though, we took it down, as well as the rest of these mages too. All this security for some books? Damn. We made our way in now. More mages in our midst, but easily taken out. We made our way through though, accidentally killing Orthorn in the process. Damn. We just had to find these books by ourselves now, which we found on the lower levels after dealing with some mages. We had finally made it to where these books were hopefully stored, and in here we were greeted by this chick. She wasn't too happy that we were slaying her mages. We had no choice but to engage in battle. This battle was over surprisingly quick though. I think my followers were now OP, so we took the key off of her body, and then we gathered our books. It was time to depart and head back to the college. When we finally got there, we noticed the orb was in the college now. Damn. We spoke to the librarian and returned his books. We then went to Tolfdir to see what he had to say about the orb, and then Ancano came to interrupt us. We now had to follow Ancano somewhere, so like the good student we were, we obliged. We had to speak to another member of the Sijic Order. They said the orb was dangerous, but they left the how up to me. We now had to find the Augur of Dunland, so we asked around the college until we found answers, and we found out that this man was under the college, so we made our way there. Through persistence, we were able to open up the door to see the Augur of Dunland. We learned that we needed to gather a few items if we were going to deal with the dangers of the Eye of Magnus. So we left the basement of the college. We needed to report to the Archmage, so we gave him the scoop. He pointed us in the direction of Mirabelle. She had even more information, so we gave her the scoop as well. She led us to a location called Mizulft. There was potential for the staff to be in these ruins, so we delved into the ruins to find this man writhing in pain. He died shortly after, so I may have borrowed his keys to unlock the door. So now we were in search of this all-powerful staff. We were back facing these dwarven robots, but we've had plenty of practice with these guys before, so we battled our way through these automatons. The Falmer even made an appearance as well. But we've had our many a battle with these people too. We had to take out one of these enchanted spheres again, which if you remember how we solved the last one, we had to do the same thing. These things are OP. But it did give us this smooth looking piece of armor. This was a Daedric cuirass, and it was still evasion. So we're still rocking that light armor setup. I like it. We had made it to the inner sanctum now, where we met the dude's friend of who just died. We told him the Falmer got to him. We decided to join sides for now. We both had similar interests, so we picked up one of the crystals from this dead Falmer and then gave it to our new friend. We met him at the top of this familiar looking altar. We placed the crystal into the mechanism, and then we once again had to figure out the right combos. So we clicked and we clacked. We had to use the power of fire and ice to get these things properly aligned, and after a bit of finagling, we finally solved the puzzle. We then got word that our staff might be in Labyrinthian, which was perfect. We were one step closer to the Dragon Priest now. Before we headed over to the ruins though, we needed to head back to the college to report back to the Archmage. And when we got there, something suspicious was happening. Ancano had locked himself in, and these mages were trying to bust themselves in. I told the Archmage where the staff was. We had to use our magic to bust through. We had to confront Ancano. The Archmage went towards him, and Ancano had encased himself even deeper. Damn. We needed to find the Archmage. We eventually found our Archmage dead outside. Damn, my man's dead. We then had to team up with Feralda. The town was being attacked. We had to protect these citizens of Winterhold, so we took care of the wisps, and then we raced back to go speak to Mirabelle. She then told us to get that staff at all costs. So off to Labyrinthian we go. We made it back to our old stomping grounds, and the door we were originally stuck behind would now open up. And like magic, that door opened right up. We were finally here. We now needed to find the staff and the dragon priest. We had ourselves a 2-for-1 special, and we rolled right into the trap. Holy moly, I forgot this place had a dragon in it. So I ran like crazy for a bit, knocking out the Draugr and skeletons first. But eventually now it was time to take on the dragon and try not to get hit by these damn fireballs. Damn, this fight was annoyingly long, but that dragon went down. Now I just had to conquer the dragon priest. This dragon priest was even more annoying. You basically had to stick nut to butt to him so he wouldn't blast you with his fireballs. So after some perseverance, we executed that dragon priest. Damn, holy moly. I now know why this was the last dragon priest to conquer. Damn, we had to continue in deeper though. We still had that staff to find. So we went in to slay more Draugr, and then I realized we didn't even beat the dragon priest because the one we just took out didn't even have the mask. Damn, the real battle was just about to start. And if that was just the warm-up battle, I was feeling pretty scared. We eventually fought our way deep enough to sip on some of that Dragonborn sauce again. And now it was time for our final battle. We had to unleash the boss man himself now. So we whacked these guys in the back of the head. And once we hit both, our last dragon priest was released. This man ended up hitting me so hard he sent me back to lobby. Damn, pure deadly. He was taking out my followers left and right. I went in with the same strat as last time though, staying up close and personal so he couldn't attack. And that seemed to do the trick. Damn. So the staff and the mask were now ours. We were finally on the right path. We now had one final goal left. The dragon priests have all been conquered. My team was strong, like Donkey Kong. But there was still one man in our way. This man was the Ebony Warrior, and only by defeating him could we finally complete this chapter. He's bested us many times before, but this time he would fall. It was time to engage in battle one final time. The Ebony Warrior was mine this time, so I went in and I got slashed right off the bat. Damn. We weren't stopping until he was defeated, so it was time for round 2. This time he was on the defensive. It seemed like we were overwhelming him. All he could do was block. Maybe it was a little bit spammy, but this was the only way. We ended up disarming this man as well. He now had no sword to attack us with. We literally bested this guy, so we kept on spamming our attacks. This Ebony Warrior chose the wrong person to mess with. I was gonna make this man pay. I don't know if it was Skyrim just being Skyrim, but this man refused to move. So I was laying in shot after shot, and whether by fluke or by skill, which I don't have, the Ebony Warrior was beat to death in the corner. I do love me some Skyrim bugs. We donned his armor in honor of this great warrior. We had ourselves a nice cozy abode now too. Damn, that's nice. This ends our humble story for now. For this character at least. But there's still many untold stories of other citizens of Skyrim. You just have to wait to find out who it was.